Who rocks mics and rocks them well, yo?
It's the biz, baby, it's the biz. It's the biz, baby, it's the biz. It's the biz, baby, it's the biz. It's the biz, baby, it's the biz.
All right, welcome back to the biz, everyone. It's still a shit show outside, so we just won't talk about that. But welcome to the show, Michael J. Wolf of the band Wolfface.
Hey, baby, how's it going?
It's going. So we were just talking a little bit about the masks, and
What masks?
well,
I don't mind wearing them. I'm not like one of those anti-COVID. masks.
right. I mean, yeah,
Weirdos.
But where did you order these things? like,
Well, let's talk in hypotheticals. If in fact Wolfface wore masks when we play, as opposed to
where would Wolfface order a mask?
well, what would happen is Michael J, when Wolfface first became a band, went on Amazon, or would have gone on Amazon, and ordered as many dumb-looking werewolf masks as he could find, and literally he'd have like 20 masks come to his house, different masks, and you had to be careful because there has to be some room for the mouth, right? It can't be like a
Right.
full covering,
Right.
otherwise this won't work.
Pre-corona.
These were the dumbest looking ones, so they won. So actually, my closet, I still have like random, goofy ass, horrible werewolf masks.
So there's
But-
backups.
Well, they look totally different, though. I don't want to disappoint my fans. They're like, "That's not
Consistency is
Wolfface."
very important.
Exactly, and I respect my fans too much to try to trick them with some false mask.
Right now, there's a company just waiting, being like, should we fold? And they're like, I don't know. I think those dudes will order more masks. We just have to hold out. We just have to wait.
I wish, because the company that makes these masks, or would have made these masks hypothetically, I'm going to start talking like it's real, but we know it's all just hypotheticals. They're called Paper Magic. It's some crazy Chinese company, and we bought out their entire stock of like 6 masks. And
They
literally
only had 6.
Correct. You can't find them at all anymore. In fact, the guitarist Rain Wolf, he like got in some weird deep dark web shit trying to find them, and found like some store in like Cambodia that supposedly had them on their website, but you can't actually order it anyway. So they have a picture and like an order thing on their website, but you click the button and it doesn't work. So they don't exist anymore. It really sucks.
You got to go to another layer of the dark web. You got to get real dark.
Yeah, man.
That's
I
too
know I
dark.
I can barely work like Zoom, so I'll leave that to Rain Wolf to delve into that darkness.
Now, the premise of this band is of your life from the movie Teen Wolf.
Right. Well, the movie was based on my life, my high school experience.
Sure. Now, what made you want to just keep, do the band of the experience of, Teen Wolf the band instead of like the musical?
Well, you want the real answer, the hypothetical answer?
I want the hypothetical answer.
Okay. So hypothetically, I was just bored and recorded 6 songs in my closet and for fun, all by myself. And I suck at writing lyrics, and I don't like writing lyrics because I feel like I don't have anything profound or new to say.
Sure.
And so I don't know how it came about. Maybe Teen Wolf was on TV or something. And I was like, fuck, I'll just write about Teen Wolf. And that's how I wrote those songs. That's how our original demo was done.
How
And
did
what
you
a
get?
band.
How did you convince other people to go on this journey?
That's a good question. It sounds like I wouldn't have believed it. So I just did that for fun. And I was just I hadn't been in a band in like over a decade. I didn't ever plan on being in a band again. And I just given that demo out to my friends, and they passed around to each other and seemed to like it. And one dude I knew who was in a band offered me a show in St. Pete near where we live. And at that point, it wasn't a band. It was just me. But I was like, that'd be fun. We'll go play a goofy show and people will laugh at us, and it'll be like one last hurrah for me in a band. But I knew the drummer from prior bands, bass player. I've known him since I was 15. And then they knew Rain Wolf, the guitar player. The drummer knew him and brought him in, and they were super stoked on it, to my surprise. And we played the show thinking the people would just laugh and like hate us, but like at least we'd be having fun. But people seem to like it okay, so I decided to continue on with it.
I mean, it's just what, like, I loved it because I love all those movies from the 80s. They're just great, you know, and they're just kind of like, especially like during this time where like Corona's happening and everything's like super depressing. I can't watch serious movies. I'm like, give me all the National Lampoon, please, as much as possible, and just like give me all these movies that are only like an hour and 20 minutes. It's great. I love this. This is awesome.
Absolutely, man.
So, you know, being able to like watch a band that kind of like immortalizes the movie is just a lot of fun to me, and I'm just like, I love this idea so much, and it never seems like you run out of material, which is great.
Thanks, baby. I mean, I guess we've had like several records. I mean, I don't know. I think we had like over 30 songs or something,
which is unreal.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's weird, man. So, it's hard. I'm scraping the barrel sometimes trying to figure out what the fuck to write about.
I've always wondered this too, like, you know, with like a band like the Aquabats, I've always been like, you think that dude wants to like write a real song at some point, or he just doesn't want to? And like, I think about that with Wolfface. Like, do you ever like write a song that you're just like, this isn't about Teen Wolf? I guess this just gets deleted.
Well, yeah, again, like, I don't like writing lyrics. Like, I hate writing serious lyrics. Yeah. But, like, an interesting kind of example of that is the first song on our new record, Still Golden, which is kind of like a slow, emo-y song. I wrote that a couple of years ago. And I recorded it without words, but never planned on using it for Wolfface. I'm like, this isn't a Wolfface song. So I sent it to a buddy of mine, Jeremy Gloff, who's a musician in the area, and he does, like, a lot of, you know, softer, like, poppy music. It sounded like a song he could use. Sure. And he took it. I said, you can have this song, use it. If you can write lyrics for it, great. And he wrote, like, this beautiful song out of it on his CD, and he wrote all the lyrics about, like, a friend of his who died. And but I loved it so much, and the lyrics, if I, like, switched one word around to where it says Michael J., it becomes a Wolfface song. And it's about how Michael J is still golden, how, like, even though people try to drag me down, you know, once they've had enough of me, I'm still golden. I'll always be golden. And so I wrote my buddy Jeremy, who wrote the lyrics to it. I was like, dude, you know, I'd like to actually do this as a Wolfface song now. I know this is like a serious subject matter. I don't want to like offend you by like bastardizing it and suddenly making it about this superficial bullshit. And he's like, no, fuck that. That's awesome. Like, my friend who the song's about would have thought that was hilarious. And so it became a Wolfface song when it originally was not a Wolfface song.
That's so good, though. That's what makes, I mean, it's what makes it special. I just, the last episode, which hasn't been up yet, I talked to John from Dead Bars, and we talked about, like, and I keep always saying there's things that happen in the Dead Bars universe that are just like almost so stupid that you can't make it up, but it's what makes it special. It's like they didn't, you know, it's like this wasn't planned, this just happens this way, and it makes it cool. Like, I think that, like, you know, obviously you're sitting and writing these songs and figuring it out, but like the more that it can come organically, it doesn't feel as forced.
Totally. And it really does come organically. Like, that's why we only put out a record like once every 2 years or something. I mean, I think we put out like 4 now. But it's because I don't sit there and like force myself to write these songs. They literally just kind of come to me after a while. And it's
my favorite is the split that you did with Teenagers.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think the songs on that are really good.
Awesome. Thanks, dude. Yeah. I don't know if like a lot of people, I feel like when we play shows, we don't play a lot of songs from that one, because I don't know if it like caught on with a lot of people. But like the first 2 songs, the Goddamn This Beast and Boof Ain't Too Loose, people like those, I think. The rest of the songs I don't think people care about. Oh, the cover song we have on there, people like.
Then that's the thing, is like the cover song is so good. And
thanks, dude.
It's just one of those things where it's like how did that come about? Just to be like, well, if we're going to cover a song, this is the song to cover.
That's pretty much the rule, is like, if we're going to cover a song, it has to be about wolves or have the word wolf in the title.
There's not a lot of songs.
No, no. And I love that song. I love the TV on the radio song. That's such a. I've always loved that song. And it just like, I don't know why. Maybe I was just listening to it. And I was like, fuck, if we just played it a little faster, like it'd be a fun ass song to play. And it is. I love it. It's fun.
There's just like no other perfect song for Wolfface to cover.
True. Well, on the new record, we covered a Mumford and Sons song. That song, The Wolf. I don't know if you've heard it. And I'm not a Mumford and Sons fan, but a buddy of mine who like worked for Hard Rock. Well, he's kind of a friend of mine now. He's really a Wolfface fan. But he like does all like their like big concerts and stuff, so he knows those dudes, and he's always preaching Wolfface. And he's like, "Dude, you need to cover this song so I can play it for them." So I just demoed it, and he played it for those guys, and like they loved it, and or they said they did. I don't know. And so we put it on the album. So it's called The Wolf. Perfect, right?
That is amazing. That's awesome. I worked at Hard Rock in the merch department for a couple of years, maybe a year.
Was that horrible?
It's terrible.
I can't imagine.
I had come off of a tour, I think with Big D and the Kids Table. And I didn't have a job, and I like walked into the Hard Rock merch department. I said, I only know about selling t-shirts. Can I have a job? And they're like, yeah, we need people here. Absolutely, like immediately. And I was like, cool. And they're like, it gets really busy. And I was like, I've done really busy. This is easy. This is like so much easier. And it was super easy. And all the shirts are terrible. And
who the fuck buys a Hard Rock shirt anymore, I guess?
Dude, it's all tourists. It's all tourists. Like everyone when I worked there, I was like, I work at Hard Rock. They're like, where is there a Hard Rock in Boston? I'm like, it's literally in Copley, like downtown. They're like, I've never seen it. And it's like, yeah, because you don't go looking for it. Like it's all tourist.
I thought people went to Boston to go visit the famous Boston Hard Rock.
Right, exactly. But yeah, that job sucked. It was terrible. And when it was time to close, the TVs played that fucking Meatloaf song, Paradise by the Dashboard Light. No, the other Paradise by the Dashboard Light, which is like super long. It's like 15 minutes. It's terrible.
Fuck yeah, it
is. And I would just like sit there and like while I was getting towards closing, it was just like we hadn't had customers for hours, and then like a Hive song would come on, and I'd be like, "Thank God this happened."
Dude, what years did you work for them? Was it like recently?
No, this was probably around 2008.
Okay.
2009, yeah.
Because I was going to say, a Wolfface, our video for I Want to Be a Homo Sapien is on that feed.
That's awesome.
That dude from the Hard Rock who's a Wolfface fan got it on their feed. And so sometimes people will send me pictures. It hadn't happened in years though now, but one time someone sent me a picture there at like the Hard Rock in Barcelona, and it came on. They took a picture of it. So like we were like helping ruin people's meals all over the world, I guess.
That is so wild. Like, so the thing that happened to me at the Hard Rock that kind of like, I was like, I need to quit this job, was there was so many instances, but at one point the manager of Hard Rock learned that I work for Dropkick Murphys, and he was like, dude, I love that band. And I was like, yep, we're in Boston. A lot of people love that band. And he's like, so what do you do for them? Are you like, you go on the road? I was like, sometimes, but like, I'm not the main guy. I just like help out selling merch because like they sell a shitload of merch, and I've been around for a long time as like always been like the helper guy, like whatever is needed. He was like, I would love to get a piece of memorabilia for the Hard Rock. And I was like, I'll see. I mean, I was like, the practice space is like, so there's so much shit there. There's so much leftover shit and broken instruments. I was like, yeah, we'll find something. So I told my friend Sean, who was their main merch guy at the time, and he was like, I'll look then see what's there. And so he found like a broken bouzouki, which I didn't know what that was, but it's kind of like a banjo mandolin type instrument. It's no one should play it, but
they have one song with a bouzouki on it somewhere on their deep cuts.
Apparently, yeah. And it was like this broken thing, and so like my buddy just was like, here you go. And so I brought it to work, and I was like, here it is. And he was like, wow, you got this? I was like, yeah, man. It's like, it's broken. Like, I don't know what you want to do with it, but it's here. He's like, well, maybe we can get them to like play here, and like it'll be awesome. And I was like, I don't know how you can make that happen. I was like, well, here's the contact for like the manager. Like
Right.
you can talk to their manager. I'm out of this situation. I was like, I don't know. And he's like, well, maybe we can like try to tie it in with like the Leary Foundation firefighter fundraiser that we do every year. Apparently they were doing this fundraiser every year that they wouldn't like, there'd be like, we raised $2,000 or like $1,500. I'm like, you're the Hard Rock. That's like bad numbers. That's terrible.
I think like Rebuilder or Wolfface could do that. Probably.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, like we had the biggest one last year. We raised like 1,500, and like the pin collectors would come out because there's a whole pin like culture in Hard Rock and stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
I was like, sure, okay. Like I was like, here's the contact, because he's like, he had then had to go through Hard Rock like officially to be like, we have this piece of memorabilia, like put it in the catalog that we have this, and we need a plaque and everything. Somehow this guy pulled it off. In talking to the manager, and the band was like, yeah, we'll come and play and raise money for the firefighters, and like, it'll be a free thing. And we'll have a silent auction. We'll bring a bunch of stuff that we have to sell. So it became this big thing. They raised I think they raised something like over 20 grand or like 20 grand for the Lear Foundation. So it was like this big deal. And I was like, the boss was like, this is so great. I'm so excited this is happening. And then I was put on the shift to work the retail store that day. And I was like, I don't want to work the retail store that day. Like, I'm going to be working for them that day.
Right.
And there's like, no, like, we can't, like, we need you. Like, you can still kind of hop around. And I was like, okay. And then I remember I kept getting in trouble for like leaving the retail store. And I was like, dude, I told you that, like, and I was like, no one's buying a t-shirt today. Like, this place is packed with Dropkick fans and everyone's drinking and you're raising money. And then our boss went up there and he was like, man, right before these guys take the stage, I just want to thank all these people for making this happen. And he thanked so many people and didn't thank me. And I was like, my God. This is bullshit.
You're still just his helper, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I was like, Jesus. This is bullshit. I was like, so I got pissed about it and I didn't say anything. And then like, I was looking through this employee thing and it was like, employees can get $500 and a bright idea pin if they come up with some great idea for the Hard Rock. And I was like, I want $500 and that pin.
Yeah, no shit.
I could flip that pin on eBay. It's not like everyone gets that pin. And I didn't say anything for a week, but I was pretty like spiteful. And then like I said something to the boss. I was like, hey man, like, do I get the bright idea pin? Because this thing wouldn't be on the wall unless I brought it to you.
Right.
And he was like, that's really only if like you create like a new sandwich or a new drink. Like, it's not really for this.
A new sandwich? What the fuck's that going to do for anybody?
Man. It was fucked. And I was just like, okay. And then I just like, after that, I was like, this place sucks. I just like, I was like, I knew it sucked, but like, I can't believe I just like brought them this like thing in the biggest event they've had here ever.
Jesus Christ.
And it was just like, yeah, man, I don't know. You're on the schedule. Get back to work.
Well, that's sweet. Now the charity is getting $1,500 a year again.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
So you had told me about some biz things that happened regarding your drummer, which like not to pick on your drummer or anything, but like this is like amazing.
Well, the thing with my drummer Wolf Fart is we're the only two guys in the band who will butt heads at times. I mean, we're such like the only reason
everyone needs one. You need one to butt heads.
Exactly. I've never been in a band with as little drama as Wolfface, to be honest with you. But there always has to be like two kind of conflicting heads in the room, and that's us. I love the kid to death, and we get along great, but we butt heads at times. And so yeah, there's some kind of interesting. I was thinking of one I didn't tell you about, Sal, was when we played in Alabama a couple years ago. Do you know the band Handsome Scoundrels?
Yes.
They're from they set up a show for us up there, and we played with them. And it was a fun little show, and it was freezing cold outside. And so after we played, we weren't the last band. We were like the second to last band. we unload and we start loading the van. It's freezing out there, and we're all still in our basketball gear and stuff. And Wolfart's nowhere to be found, right? And his drums are just sitting on the side of the stage, completely like unbroken down, and we're trying to get everything loaded up. And so I'm like, where the fuck is this asshole? So I go up, there's like this, like actually really nice, like dressing room area upstairs. I go up there and he's all toasty, getting changed, feeling good, about life. And I was like, you motherfucker, like, you break your shit down. We're getting the van loaded up. We're freezing our ass off doing everything. He's like, well, that was cold. It's like, no shit, you're cold. We're all cold. And so we started jawing back and forth. So I just threw a fit and I storm back downstairs and I take his drums and I just piece by piece throw them across the street outside the club, one by one. Throw the fucking bass drum. Fuck you. And meanwhile, the sad part of the story is the drums actually belong to our bass player, Good Wolf. So I was really punishing the Good Wolf. But then Wolfart comes down and sees what I did and starts having a throwing a fit and gets in my face. And like we were about to like punch each other. Well, I was waiting for him to punch me because like he was like pissed. And I was pissed too.
Were you guys in still wolf face gear at this point?
I was. I'm sitting there yelling in a parking lot in my undies, my yellow undies and shit. He was nice and toasty in his changed clothes. That made me even more mad. But right when he's about to punch me, some dude, like, I don't know who he was, but he was like an angel from the heavens. He comes over with a weed vape pen. And at the time I had never vaped. I didn't smoke that much at all. And I never vaped weed. And he just sticks it in my mouth and makes me take a puff. I take a puff. And then Wolfart takes a puff. And like, we so quickly turned that argument around. And like suddenly it's like, what are we fighting about? And it cured the problem. So we didn't punch each other, thank God, because he probably
weed is tight.
What's that?
Weed is tight.
It is tight. I'm pretty stoked on it now these days because I realize it brings peace to the world and our interpersonal relationships.
But that wasn't the end of that drum set.
Yeah, that's right.
There was so one, we've established that Wolfart does not have his own drums. They belong to your bass player, which sometimes band members just don't have their own gear.
True.
It happens, and we're more than happy to like lend a hand and share. And usually the person who is borrowing is super respectful of that gear. And they're like, oh, it's not mine. I should be super careful.
You would think.
That's always how it works out.
Yeah.
So what ultimately ended up happening to these drums?
Yeah, so later on we played a show, like it was like in Miami or something, which is on the other side of the state from us. And for some reason he had to drive separately in his car because I don't know, he had to work or something. So the rest of us go over there in the van, and Wolfart drives in a separate car, and he has the drums in there, which aren't his drums. And in Miami, like some seedy spot in Miami, like there's a lot of seedy areas in Miami. He finds like a little like side of the road sandwich shop, and thinks it's a good idea to just pull up and go get a sandwich. And does he lock his car? No, because he's just running in. So there's no reason to lock your car if you're just running in for a quick Sammy, right?
Right.
So he gets his sandwich. He gets back in his car. He's driving, enjoying his sandwich. Looks at his rearview mirror, and suddenly he can see out the rearview mirror, out the rearview window. It used to be blocked by drums, and drums are gone. They got stolen at the Sammy shop in Miami. Weren't even his drums. So our bass player had to buy another drum set.
No, he did?
He did. And get this. This is the funniest part. The rims on the tom and the bass drum don't match. And Wolfart made some comments about that. Like, I wish these kind of matched. I was like, you motherfucker. Like, those aren't even your drums.
Fuck?
And you got them stolen. So it was a classic Wolfart move, but he is a sweet kid. He actually is a very considerate person. Usually.
Really?
But sometimes, well, I'm not giving good examples, but he is actually a real good guy.
It's sometimes these things just happen,
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just not your drums.
Not to me, not to you, I'm sure, but to some people, I don't know.
I mean, there was, when Rebuilders started, I owned every gear that was in the room Because I was like, yeah, I mean, like, I grew up playing drums, so like my drum set is in the practice space. It's still the drums set that everyone uses because I'm not going to play drums in a band. I go there.
I was watching you play drums on your Instagram. I was watching you.
Yeah.
You're good, dude.
Dude, I grew up playing drums. I consider drums like my main instrument, but I hate setting up drum kits, and I don't want to be in a band setting up a drum kit every day. And then I was a drum tech for a while. I used to get paid for that, and I was like, why would I want to set up a drum set for free? Fuck that.
And then you're like, it's no fun being stuck behind it, I wouldn't think, like while you're playing.
No. I would like fill in for someone, or like if I was in a band that like twice a year we played a show on drums, I'd be like, this rules. But like that's about it.
Yeah. That's no fun. You can't show off your slick suit, playing drums.
No, you can't. So but I owned all the gear. Like I remember seeing a bass amp on Craigslist for $100, like head and cab. I was like, bought it. I had 2 guitar cabs and 2 heads, and I was just like, I own everything. Like, I'll just find people to play, and it's fine.
Well, now in Rebuilder, there's just 2 of you, including you, that are the main constant throughout Rebuilder, right?
Yeah, me and Daniel, the bass player.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But there's been kind of a revolving door in the other spots.
Yeah, Brandon, who is our drummer, it was like he had played guitar in like other bands that we had made. We've been in bands together since high school, so he's easy to flip flop if he like jumps over to guitar, jumps over to bass, and he can't always tour. So then it was just like one of those things. Like I never wanted the band to be something where it would just be too hard of a burden for everyone to like have to always be there. Like I always want to be there, but if someone can't be there, it's like, well, let's just figure it out. Like we'll find someone who wants to be there, or we'll just like, like someone will fill in for this. And I remember just like there were shows that I saw of bands that are like huge bands, like someone wasn't there and it still went on, and I was just like, I think I used to hold so much of being like, this is exactly who needs to be here at all times. I mean, I would like everyone to be there, but that's not my decision. I can't control that. I don't pay anyone, so it's not like I can like be like, don't go to work, man. Like do this. Rock and roll will pay the bills. It doesn't.
Yeah, no shit. But dude, that's a good point, and it's even easier to have that revolving door if your band happens hypothetically to wear masks, because like we've had like I've had a dude sub in for me for I think it was 1 show.
Really?
Yeah, and it's this dude we know, and he's such a cool guy. Like he can sing all the songs. He probably does them better than I do, and so like he subbed in for me. I don't think anyone even cared or noticed.
Dude, that's so amazing.
I mean, I don't particularly like it because I like being involved in it, but
right.
It's better than like dipping out on a show,
But the fact that it can happen without you is just so good. That's
totally.
Called a franchise.
Dude, we're on the same wavelength, man. Do you remember a band called Man or Astro Man? Were you ever into them?
Yeah. Yep.
I love Man or Astro Man. And I don't know if you remember, but like in the late 90s, they did a Man or Astro Man clone tour where they had like 5 different Man or Astro Man bands touring the country in different areas. They had the same shtick, the same costumes. And one was like an all-female band. And one of the clone bands came to Orlando. I was living in Orlando at the time. And I went to see them, and I was kind of like, oh, geez, it's not the real Man or Astro Man. It's some fucking fake Man or Astro Man cover band. But it was just as awesome as Man or Astro Man. I've seen Man or Astro Man several times. So
yeah, that's sick. That's awesome.
Do you want to – we'll chat about maybe a Boston area franchise if you're interested, Sal. The only problem is if hypothetically those masks are impossible to find.
Dude, that's the thing. It's like the buy-in cost for your own Wolf-A franchise. It's like it's going to be years before you find the masks.
Yeah, I know. That's a problem.
We have to find a 3D printer.
Do they do that? Will they make rubber masks?
Dude,
I don't know. I'm not.
It's 2020.
Yeah, that's right. We sent someone to the moon recently, I heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything's possible.
Right. I mean, like... The fact that you can't buy your own wolf face mask on your site is like, what are we doing here?
That's a shame. It is a shame. And people have asked about like, you can like, have you ever like thought about finding like a makeup artist like who does movie stuff to make them? I'm like, well, yeah, but what are they going to charge? Like $1,000? I mean,
Yeah,
Wolfface,
fuck that.
Wolfface pays a lot. I have like 5 hot tubs at my house, but I don't have the extra money for extra like expensive masks.
You can't throw it back into expensive masks. That doesn't do anything for you.
Right, exactly.
Now, speaking of merch, Wolfface has had some good merch.
Oh, thanks, dude.
There was a cover set that you guys did in Florida at Fest for the Misfits.
Oh yeah.
And you said that shirt was supposed to not have your band name on it.
No, that wasn't me. That was Wolf Fart, the drummer.
Right.
And that's the biz pro tip of the night. If you're gonna make a band shirt, unless you're Nike, put the band name on it somewhere, right?
So how did this conversation go down?
Well, so we were doing the cover set, Misfits cover set, which is like a dream come true, and the drummer Wolf Fart, he's actually in design, like he's a very good designer, and so I was like, dude, make a fucking Misfits shirt. So he designs like the Misfits skull. I have a real one here, just the Misfits skull.
We know what it looks like.
A yellow, because most of us wear yellow headbands, but puts a yellow headband at the top of the skull. And he shows it to us, and I was like, dude, that's rad, man. But now you got to write Wolfface in the Misfits spot above it. He's like, no, man, we're not going to do that. Everyone will know. Like, they'll see the, it's like basically acting like it's a fucking Nike swoosh. I bring up Nike again because that was my argument. I'm like, we're not fucking Nike, dude. You're making Misfits t-shirts. I'm not in the business of making Misfits t-shirts. I'm in the business of getting our name somewhere out there to anyone who will see it. And we had this we were screaming at each other in the studio. And meanwhile, Rain Wolf and Good Wolf, our bass player, they're Switzerland. They're off chatting about cartoons or something, trying to stay out of it. And I got so pissed, man. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this is the dumbest fucking thing. Because he had already made one shirt without our name on it. It's the one that says, put me in, coach. On second thought, go fuck yourself. And it has a picture of like my little image. And I was like, look, I gave you one, man. You got one shirt without our fucking name on it. You're not doing it again. And finally he folded and added, and it looked so much better, dude. And that shit sold out like so quick and fast. It probably, like people loved it.
You need to have your band name. It's a thing, and you just need to have it. I understand that sometimes you look at things and aesthetically you're like, this is sick without the band name. But like, you have to. You just have to.
And that's how he was, because he's a designer-minded type of guy, and so he's like, this aesthetically it looks cool, and that's like what's most important to him. To me, I'm just like the dope on the street. Like, no one's going to stop them and say, oh, is that a Wolfface shirt? They're going to say, cool Misfits shirt. What the fuck's with the yellow rubber band around his head?
Right. But here's the thing. He's not the only one that this is not the first time I have heard of bands wanting to not put their band name on it.
What other band did that?
Okay, so there was a band one of the first bands I ever worked for, was this band from Boston called Kicked in the Head. And they were great. And the first time I think I ever toured down to Florida was actually with them, because they were friends with that band, the Spit Valves. And that's how I knew them, because they brought the Spit Valves up to Boston when I was in high school, and the Spit Valves brought them to Florida.
Was this like early 2000s?
Yeah, early 2000s. And the band's been long gone, and they decided to do some reunion shows. And I remember this, the singer was like, what should we do for merch? And I remember their drummer didn't want to do any merch at all. He was like, I don't think we should do anything. And I was like, well, there's making a shitload of t-shirts and then making none, and there's somewhere in between that you need what you need to do. I said, make your classic t-shirt. They had a t-shirt that just said Kick in the Head in like kind of bloody letters, and it had a hand in the back like this, and it said East Coast rock and roll, louder, faster, more distortion. Everyone had that shirt. And I was like, make the classic shirt, bring it back. And he was like, I don't know, everyone has that. I said, they did, but they're like fatter now. And like,
totally.
Yeah, man. And that shirt disintegrated for a lot of people. Make the classic. Everyone wants the classic shirt again, And he was like, yeah, maybe we'll do that. but I want to make a new design too. And I was like, all right, like, yeah, you can make a new design, but like have the classic shirt. I don't remember what we got in the end, but I know we didn't get the classic shirt at all. Like, I showed up for the show that day and I like pulled out the merch. No classic t-shirt whatsoever. And everyone that came up to the merch table that day was like, do you still have the hand shirt? And I was like, yeah, we don't have that.
Are you fucking kidding? Of course.
And the shirt that we did have, which like, again, like the singer is like a graphic designer and he makes great stuff. Aesthetically, this looked awesome. It was a matchbook, like an open matchbook with all the matches had been like flamed out, so like they were like black and like crinkling.
Yeah.
And then it just said Kith, like Kith. That's it, just Kith. I was like, this shirt doesn't say your band name on it. He's like, what? It says Kith. And I was like, that's not your band name though. And he was like, no, but it's fine, like everyone will get it. Dude, that shirt didn't sell well that night because people were like, this isn't the classic shirt. And like, what is this match? I don't understand what this is. So like, if I saw this t-shirt like in like the Supreme clothing rack, I'd get it. I'd be like, right. Yeah, this makes sense. This is a Supreme shirt.
Right, totally.
But it's not. And no one knew what it was, including myself. I was just like, yeah, this looks cool, but it's not a good band shirt.
Dude, it's like if we don't learn from history, we're bound to repeat it, right? And what's the worst selling Wolf-Face shirt thus far? The one without our band name on it that says "Put me in, coach." On second thought, go fuck yourself. That's the one we have plenty of sizes left. Everything else is sold to shit. So if you want to buy a Wolf-Face shirt that doesn't say Wolf-Face anywhere on it, I'm your guy. We have all sizes left. So, a lesson for everyone out there. The Biz. Pro tip.
Now, marketing your band, obviously, we all do the same thing. We get, we put out records, you put out art that like looks good, you put out music videos, you hope people will watch it. But with Wolf-Face's approach, it's not even diving into the Wolf-Face catalog of things that you can use because there's so much. With Wolf-Face, you decided to just make fun and parody Metallica. Yeah. Why?
It was birthed by our music video for the song "Death to Wolf Posers," which can only be found on Pornhub now. So if you Google Wolf-Face Pornhub, our music video comes up because it's been banned from YouTube and all that other stuff. So we want to make a music video for the song. And Wolf Fart, my drummer, and I were texting back and forth with our friend Danny Del Purgatorio, who lives in Chicago. He's this dude who he does production now. He's like super like talented, like movie producer, commercial producer. And we wanted him to do a video for us. And I didn't have any ideas. And so I'm in this text thread, and Wolf Fart, again, being the design aesthetic guy, had all these like artsy fartsy ideas that like to me are just boring. Like if I want to watch a music video more than once, it has to like make me laugh. It doesn't. If it looks cool, great. I'll watch it once. I have no desire to watch it again. Right. And so I was kind of just getting frustrated with his ideas because I didn't like any of them and my lack of ideas. And I don't know how it came in my head, but I texted in the thread. I said, "Look, just take that stupid ass fucking Metallica video where they're playing in the prison with that horrible drum sound." And just literally paste our song over it, except do one other thing. In the beginning of the video, it shows Metallica like signing into the prison. It's all intense, like, oh, they're in danger now, and it shows like them signing this logbook. And I was like, all I want you to do is go into that scene, and where they're signing, make it look like instead of signing their name, they're drawing like a big dick, right? And so my buddy Danny in Chicago was like, okay, great. And so he contacts me like a week later. I'm like, Greg, how many dicks in this video is too many dicks? And I said, there's no such thing as too many dicks, Dan. If you have a good idea, you run with it. I trust your vision. And that motherfucker, like a month later, sent me the rough cut of the video. And it's like my favorite thing in the world still. And I know that's like me saying like my child is the most beautiful baby in the world. But this time it's true. Because he made Metallica like sucking each other off, eating each other's shit, getting cummed all over. You know, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And so ever since then, I like had this like fake like Metallica feud. And we even made stickers. Have you ever seen our stickers, Sal?
I have one of them.
Oh, sweet. Where it's like the wolf face in the Metallica in quotes. Or it just says Metallica in quotes, and it says dash wolf face. Because you can't sue us if it's something we said, right? That's public domain or something,
So,
right?
have you ever gotten like any blowback from like Metallica's people or anything, or it's just like it's stayed under the radar?
I'm begging for it, man. Like, what better way for us to stop being a band than getting a hard cease and desist? You know, like the only person we've gotten my other feud is with Mike Kinsella, and he's gotten back to us a little bit, but nothing like threatening to sue us or anything. Like just talking shit.
He loves to argue on Twitter, so he's like waiting for it.
Oh, really? Okay, so I don't know him at all. I just know I hate him. But yeah, nothing from Metallica. I'm begging for something from Lars. And in fact, I don't know if you've ever seen. You probably haven't, but I have sometimes I'll make custom action figures.
You made the drumstick for Lars.
Yeah, you ever see that? It's like the turd with the drumstick sticking out. I sold it on eBay, and for like $60 or something, I think.
That's so good. That's
so yeah,
good.
My feud continues, but I think it's a one-sided feud, unfortunately, unless Metallica's just too scared.
I hope he's seen it. I hope Lars saw that and it was just like, I can't even address this. Like, I hope he was like, dude, he's like, if I address this, I just give it way too much credibility, and I
exactly. And that's why I'm praying he does address one of them, because like then like that's instant like more press for it, you know. But yeah, you're right.
Amazing. It would be like, so
what does he
good.
get out of it? He's just going to make us way more popular than we are by bitching
like,
about it.
What does he say? Like, he's like, can you not draw dicks on me, please?
I figured he'd have some like serious like speech about like how that was like a serious matter, and they're playing to these prisoners who haven't seen the light of day, like some like serious bullshit. Like that whole video was so dumb. Like
it's
Metallica.
So stupid. It's so stupid.
These fucking whiny ass millionaires.
I loved that you guys like. I remember like playing it, and I was like, "Am I watching the right video?" Like I was like, "This is like high production for this band." And then like as it started, I was like, "Oh my god! This is genius."
Dude, thanks, dude. Well, the one thing I was kind of worried about was like I didn't really have any delusions that it would like become a big like worldwide phenomenon for video or anything, but a lot of the dudes in the video are real prisoners, and like they're probably out by now, some of them, and we're like drawing, like making them suck each other off and like jerking. Like if one of them happened to stumble upon it, they probably wouldn't be super stoked about it, and they'd probably come after yours truly. But you know,
but again, they'd have to like address it, and I don't think anyone wants to.
But I think they would just address it privately with a shiv. That's what I'm scared of. Like, I'm not worried about them going to the newspaper.
What are they gonna do? Keep looking around for a wolf in their area? Like, dude, they have no idea what you guys look like at all.
That's a good point. But if you see me getting stabbed at the next fest, it's probably one of those dudes, but like a bald like gang member.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, he had it coming.
I probably have to agree. As I'm dying, I was like, I figured this would happen. See you, Sal. Here's my mask. Carry on the legacy. You're franchising it to you for free.
Yeah, and then I just put it on, and it's like,
you wouldn't miss a beat.
Yeah, exactly. People would be like, yeah, I think they used to have another singer. I don't know.
Yeah. The audience just starts dancing on my dead body as you take over. Like, no one gives a shit. Like, he had it coming.
That's awesome. That's so good. I love that. The one, not nearly as fucking great as that, but the first year that we were a band, no, it was probably the second year we did Rock and Roll in America. We recorded that, and we were like, we need to put out a music video.
By the way, your new song y'all released today, the new song you dropped is sick.
Oh, thank you. That was a lot of fun to do. No, it's fine. I'm glad you dig it. So like, the PR company that had been hired by like the record label, which makes that sound so much more douchey than it is. But like they, you know, it was actually James Goodson who plays in. He had that band Hold Tight, and he's from like Virginia. Yeah, great dude. But like, I remember he was like working the record, and we were a new band, so it's like hard to get people to like give any press on a new band. And I kept being like, can you please like try to get us like in these big publication stuff? And he's like, they're not gonna say yes. And I was like, well, fucking try anyway. And they wanted like a music video, and I was like, okay, we got to shoot a video. And we had been in Manhattan, I think, and our buddy said he would shoot a music video for us, but he was like, I can shoot it. I have all this really expensive equipment, but it can't really leave like the facility in Manhattan. He's like, I can't like take it, and we can't like travel like far with it. And I was like, okay, I don't know what we can do then, but like, let's like meet up and like talk about it. I was like, I'll book us a show in like Manhattan and like Jersey, and then like we'll be up there for the weekend. We can kind of like figure this out. And he works for a living making like videos and small like documentaries and stuff, and now he's working in VR world, and he's like super successful. And I remember I was like, dude, how much do I have to pay you for this? And he was like, I don't know, like whatever you want. He's like, I know you guys don't have shit. And I was like, yeah, we don't. So I remember being like, you know what, there's that taco shop that's right next to your building. It's super good. Why don't we just set up the table in there and it's just us eating tacos? Like, that's the whole video. It's just us eating as many tacos as we possibly can, just like shoving it in our mouth. And he's like, okay. So like he got like,
I was like heaven.
Yeah, I was like, this is great. And like the shot is so good too. It's like one of my favorite press photos too that I don't really use a lot anymore because there's people just not in the band in that picture. But like I remember like we went in there, and I don't think I even asked them. I think I was just like, yeah, I'll just order all these tacos. And it was like a lot. And they're like, cool. And then like, I was like, is it cool if we just set up the table? And they're like, I was like, we're going to film. And they're like, okay. And we just started the song on like, I think like someone's phone. And my friend filmed it, and we did this like a couple of times, and he had like brought like the high speed slow-mo camera too. So it's just like a 2-minute song of like us just shoving tacos in our face. And the whole backdrop is all just a wall of hot sauces that you can buy there.
Oh, badass.
And they thought, like, the staff thought it was hilarious. They loved it. They're like, this is so funny. What's this for? And we're like, it's just our stupid band. And we sent the video to the PR guy, and like to James, and he was like, this is terrible. How am I supposed to work with this? Like, who's going to play it? There's no website that wants this video. He was right. Nobody wanted that video. But I thought it was fucking hilarious. And I was like, this is fun. I was like, videos are so stupid. Like, who cares? It's just us eating tacos. Like, you're entertained for like 2 minutes. I remember we came back a week later for something. I don't remember why it was so close together, but I wanted to take press photos, and I was like, let's go take press photos in the taco shop. And like we walked in, and the lady instantly recognized us and was like, the taco guys.
Well, there's like, what would have been a better video? You guys playing in a practice space that like people do all the time. And that's nothing against that, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like I need something better than that to even want to put the effort out, right?
Right.
Or different.
Right.
I mean, noshing a shitload of tacos and using that for like your press photo, as opposed to every press photo where the drummer's looking this way, everyone else is looking straight. One person has, everyone knows in press photos, dudes in bands, one dude has their arms like this arm straight, and the other one's, no one ever stands like that in real life.
No.
Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah. I've always wanted to send press photos of just like not us. You know, like the press photos just like fucking tall, skinny white dudes, and be like, this is Rebuilder. Here you go.
It's so awesome. Or just say like Minor Threat or something. Like,
yeah. Here
like,
you go.
Or someone more underground, like, I don't know, Madball. I was in a band once, and we got into a battle of the bands by submitting a Madball tape, but we just like dubbed it and put our name on it, so they thought we were Madball. And then we just got out there and played our shit.
That's awesome. That's great. Sick, man. Well, I think this is enough material for sure. And
Sweet.
I want to thank you for coming on the biz. I'm going to hit stop recording, but we'll keep talking after this about dark
Right,
biz
brother.
shit.
Thanks for having me on the biz, baby.
Yeah, absolutely, man.